Hey everyone, in today's video I am going to be using one of my favorite tools, the yoga wheel, to stretch out and release my back, also my legs and my hip flexors. This is probably one of my most often used tools to increase mobility in the back, especially for posing, but also to fix some of the most common problems that we get, some of that stiffness in our hips and in our legs just from training. So we'll start today from releasing our back. I am using a medium-sized yoga wheel. They do come in different sizes. So the set that I have has a bigger one, obviously for different sized people depending on your height, on the width of your back, and so on. And then there's a small one. This one is mostly used for neck type of exercises. And I will link the set that I have. I find it really great because it is sturdy enough. And then I also have 2 yoga blocks that I will use as additional tools to show you how some of these exercises can be done with a little bit of support. All right, so we're going to be starting this off nice and slow to really give our back a chance to slowly release. So we're going to start off with the yoga wheel pretty close to our lower back. Our feet are on the ground, hip width apart with our knees. We're keeping our hands on the mat and our glutes to begin with. So all you're going to do right now is you're going to wrap your upper body around the yoga wheel to look towards the back as much as you can. Only go as far as this feels comfortable, so there shouldn't be any sharp pain or anything like that. And then if at some point you feel like you can go a little bit further, you can do that. And then in the next instance, we're going to let our hips come up off the floor and roll around a little bit more. Good. Now we can here do a slow massage back and forth with the yoga wheel. Okay. So now the next part, we're going to let the yoga wheel come a little bit higher up. And we're first again going to start with some hand support. We're going to let the hips come up. Now you will feel the wheel a little bit more firmer between your lats here, and we can really roll this back and forth. Get that upper back massage here. Utilize your legs to rock yourself. Good. If you feel more confident, you can roll further out and touch the floor with your hands. Really let that arch and curve around it. Good. You can even extend your legs fully in front of you for that deep stretch. Good. And also you can utilize your hands to hold on to the wheel as you're stretching. Deeper and deeper, really massaging that back. Really just feel how comfortable you are here, how flexible you feel. I'm not super flexible, but I'm also not super not flexible, so I'm somewhere right there in the middle. Okay, now we're gonna do that one more time. So, it's always gonna get better and better. The more that you do it, the more that we release our back. The back really here feels that pressure of the yoga wheel on it. And it almost feels like being in one of those zero gravity tables, like the inverse tables that flip you upside down. Good. And rocking myself back and forth, really letting that release my back. So this over time will increase that hip and glute arch and back arch that is useful, especially in posing. Good. Now the next one, we can stretch our sides. You are going to be on one side. One leg is going to stay on the ground at a 90 degree. The other leg is going to extend in front of you. You're going to support yourself with one hand, one arm. The other one, you can use it to go over your head and really get that deep stretch of the side. This is pretty static here. And again, if you feel like you can go a little bit further, a bit more of a stretch, you can do that as well. Good. Okay. Now we're going to do that on the other side as well. So I am now on my left side. My left leg is going to be at a 90 degree. The yoga wheel goes into my side. I'm supporting myself. The other leg is extended in front of me. And with my right arm, I am trying to reach the floor behind me. Good. Getting that deep stretch in my right side. And then I'm going to go a little bit deeper. And back. Next up is going to be a child's pose. I'm sure we all know it from yoga. We are sitting on our feet and we're going to use the yoga wheel here to get a little bit more out of our child pose. So you can roll out the yoga wheel in front of you and you're going to still hold on to it and really allow the support here to stretch you out further. You can even put one hand on top of the other. Go a little bit further. This is really great for stretching out your arms and your shoulders and shoulder blades and scapula. Now, if you want, you can deepen this and open up the child's pose to get a bit of that hip extension and stretch. And just breathe. Okay. Now we're going to move on to stretching our legs. And this is where I will also give you an option to support yourself with 2 yoga blocks. So I'm going to put each yoga block on the side, on each side. And we're going to start off with our legs. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the yoga wheel underneath our hamstring and we're going to stretch out our leg in front of it. Now you have 2 options here. You can either try and touch the floor with your hands, or if that's not something that you can achieve, then please feel free to hold on to the yoga blocks on the side and then try to push your upper body towards your thigh to get that deep stretch in the hamstring. Good. Or touching the floor. Now from here, we can push the yoga wheel onto our calf and really get the stretch in the calf here. You can start off with a little bit of a massage. Feel free to use your yoga blocks for support here. Get that myofascia release by stretching the calf. Good. And then sit back onto the leg and really stretch out that foot in front of you. Good. We can go one step further and put our foot on the yoga wheel and then let it roll out in front of us until our heel is on the yoga wheel. And feel free to utilize the yoga blocks here to lean your upper body forward. You will feel a deep stretch from your calf all the way down into the hamstring and the glute. Good. And then slowly come off of the yoga wheel. Good. We're going to go on to the other side now. Same thing. We're going to start from the yoga wheel being on our hamstring. The foot is straight in front of us. I don't normally flex my foot because flexing the foot will tighten the muscle, which makes it release a little bit harder. So we really want to release all those trigger points. So I'm going to stretch out my foot. You can utilize here the yoga blocks to help you lean more forward, or you can touch the floor with your hands. Now, personally, since I've already worked one side, this side is going to be a lot easier for me to get down into. And we're going to stay here for a bit and then move on to our calf. So the yoga wheel goes onto the calf. I'm going to utilize the yoga blocks so that I can roll on it and really massage the calf to release the trigger points. Make sure you relax your foot so that those trigger points can be released. And then we're going to carefully put our foot on the yoga wheel and roll it out until our heel, I'm going to fix my stability here, until our heel stays on it so that we can stretch out our entire leg from the calf all the way down into the glute. And again, you can utilize the yoga blocks or the floor to push your upper body a little bit more into it. Only don't go past the point of that slight discomfort. It should not be painful. But again, if you feel like you can go a little bit deeper, you can definitely go a little bit further. Good. And then we roll the wheel back. Okay. Next up, we're going to go onto our back. And we're going to utilize the yoga wheel to further release our legs. So the yoga wheel, we're going to put our foot in it. You're going to hold onto it with that same hand. So this is my left leg. My left foot is in the yoga wheel and I'm holding it with my left hand. My other leg is going to be extended in front of me. You can also put it on the floor, whatever feels like, however capable you are to go. You can also here, if you cannot extend your leg, feel free to bend your knee a little bit, okay? So from here, we're going to first open up the hip to the side, only as far as you can. And again, if you need to bend your knee here, you absolutely can. Don't go past the point of discomfort. This is supposed to be a stretch, right? Not a big torture session. Good. And then I'm going to grab the wheel with the opposite hand and I'm going to push my hip into the opposite side. And again, here you can, if you want to, bend your knee. I'm not going to go too far where I lose my balance. I'm still trying to keep my shoulders on the floor, so you don't have to go all the way to the side. Or obviously, if your hip mobility allows for it, you absolutely can. Good. And then I'm going to switch sides. Now I'm going onto my right leg and grabbing it with the right hand. I'm going to open up first to the side. I have the wall here a little bit in the way. Let me move. Good, and then I grab it with the opposite hand and I open the hip to the side, nice and slow. This is my worst side. It's definitely going to be harder for me here. I may actually want to bend my leg a little bit and help myself. You should feel the stretch in that outer glute area specifically. And also the side of your quad. So, vastus lateralis. Good. And we come back to center. Now the next one, we're going to be releasing our hip flexors. To start off with, we are going to put the knee on the floor and then we're going to put the rest of our leg and our foot on the yoga wheel. Okay, I'm going to again give you an option here with the blocks if you need the assistance. So if you need that help, what we need to do here is we need the opposite leg to go in front of us. So if you need support here, you can utilize the blocks to help support you, or you can put your hands on the floor. The knee should be outside of your hands, okay? Outside of your arms. So now here, when you're ready and you feel stable, you're going to come up with your leg. And you will feel a very good deep stretch in your inner hips. Now, like I said, if you're utilizing the blocks, you're going to use the same thing. You're going to use the block support to come off the ground here and be able to stretch those hip flexors. Same thing. Only go as deep and as low as you feel comfortable. You can play around with it, obviously, but this should give you a really, really good stretch. And when you're ready, we're going to put our knee back on the floor and then come with our leg back and get off of the yoga wheel. Now the next part, we're going to put the yoga wheel on the side. We're going to come with our hands on the floor, and then we're going to put the knee on top of the yoga wheel. The other knee is going to stay on the ground, and so will our hands. So all we're going to do now is we're going to utilize our left knee here, in my case, to roll out and open the hips. So now I'm opening the hips from the opposite angle and still getting a deep stretch. Now, if you want to go deeper here, you can get onto your forearms and go deeper. So open that knee more, even more to the side. Good, and then we're ready. We're gonna roll back and come off the yoga wheel. Now we're gonna do the other side. And again, so we're gonna put the knee onto the floor. The yoga wheel's in my way. We're putting first the knee on the floor, then the rest of our foot goes on the yoga wheel. Then we're going to wrap around with our opposite leg. And when we feel stable and ready, we're gonna come off the ground with our leg here and get a deep hip flexor stretch. If you feel like you can't do that, you can use your yoga blocks. So when you're ready here, hold on to the yoga blocks to come off the ground with the foot or with your knee. And then get your stretch here. Good, then we put our knee back on the ground and support ourselves until we can get off the yoga wheel. And then again, here, I'm just gonna change the angle so you can see me better. We're gonna put the yoga wheel to the side, support myself with my hands. My knee, in this case, my right knee goes on the yoga wheel. The other knee stays on the ground. I'm going to push out with my right knee until I feel a deep stretch, especially in that right hip flexor. I can also come onto my forearms to get a deeper stretch. You can definitely rock here back and forth or just stay in a static stretch. And then when we're ready, roll back and get off the yoga wheel. So these are my favorite yoga wheel exercises. If you have any, please let me know what yours are. I will link this set in case you wanted to buy a yoga wheel and add it to your tools. Now I do have two more exercises that I regularly do for stretching before posing. So one of them is on the back. You're going to lay straight with your legs straight, okay? Then you're going to bend one knee. So I'm bending my left knee, and then I'm going to utilize my right hand to pull my left knee over the right leg. Now you will notice I am not letting my shoulders come off the floor. I'm only going as far as I can where my shoulders still stay on the floor. And then we can do that also on the other side. So now the right knee bends. I'm now using my left hand to pull the right knee over the left leg, and I'm making sure that especially my right shoulder stays on the floor. My ponytail is in the way. The head should definitely be in a neutral position on the floor. Good. Now we're going to roll around onto our stomach and do the exact opposite of that, okay? We're still keeping our shoulders on the ground. The easiest way to do that is by having your chin on the ground as well. And then you're going to take one leg, let's say left leg, and you're going to try and put the left leg across the right leg as far as you can. Don't let the shoulder come off the floor. So shoulders stay on the floor. This is really good for clearing up any balance, like any differences in that twisting, the twist of in the hips and in the back when you're posing. And release. Now we're going to do the opposite. Right leg goes across the left. Shoulders stay on the ground. And relax. And you can repeat that a couple of times before you go into your posing practice.